Hello, welcome to Stephen Speak, Extra Speak. In this episode today, we're going to be talking about the emergency broadcast system that, excuse me, couldn't help it, that the government started using Sunday just gone, and what that means. So, yeah, let's get into that.
Welcome to Stephen Speak, Extra Speak. A little more prattle on everything and nothing.
Hello, welcome to Extra Speak, episode 53. Now we are. So in the UK, on Sunday the 23rd of April, St. George's Day in England, of all things, the British government tested an alert system which basically sent an emergency alarm to people's mobile phones in the event of an emergency, funnily enough. So the emergency could be, I believe, I've not really read into this too much, which is useful when I'm doing a podcast about it. It's just a little quick thing, this is. But it's about floods, extreme weather, and for crisis, like crisis situations. So I'd be guessing something more severe than, I know weather can be pretty bad. I believe they stayed wildfires as well, which I don't. We have had fires in the UK, but never like in like densely populated areas or anything like that. Really, then we had some like moorland fires a few years ago, which were pretty bad. Um, but generally, that sort of stuff doesn't really happen in the UK because we have a lot of rain. I presume. Um, yeah, so it's a strange thing to, especially with the state of the world and having come through a pandemic, and especially how technology has been in place for quite a while to enable this, that they kind of roll it out. And I don't like to get political on my podcast. I like to keep it quite upbeat and kind of chilled, and when I can, sometimes I have to talk about serious stuff. Um, but yeah, I was reading a Sky News quick report after the test of the system, and it just made me giggle a little bit because governments are meant to be, this probably been planned for a long time, and whatever the underlying reason for this test system is, because there's probably a bigger reason than that, things boiling under the surface that we mere minions of the population don't get privy information to. But they made spelling mistakes in the Welsh version, the Welsh language version. They spelled some words wrong, I believe. Um, which that shouldn't happen, should it? You know what I mean? Some people, I never received the alert on my phone, not at all. So apparently, some people didn't receive the alert at all. It was meant to go out at 3 p.m. So precisely at 3 p.m. So 1500 hours UK time, Greenwich Mean Time. Some people received the alert 1 minute early. Some people received it, I presume, presumably on time. Some people received it 10 to 12 minutes late, so like nearly 3:15. And some people didn't receive it at all. And I'm one of the people who didn't receive it at all. Now, I'm not sure whether you can turn this off on your phones. I don't know whether there's a system. I've not checked yet. I would presume you can turn it off. I don't know. I had a quick look in my phone, and there is a setting for like an emergency alert. But I wasn't sure whether that is to do with the settings of the iPhone. I have an iPhone, and it will alert you to emergencies, like if you fall over and stuff like that. It'll ask you if you fell over. So I wasn't sure whether it was linked to that or whether that's a link to this new government emergency system. But I just think it's really terribly badly performant, terribly implemented, let's say. If it hasn't actually worked as it should, so if something actually was happening that they needed you to react to pretty quickly, some people didn't receive it, even if if this setting is automatically turned on, which I believe it is. Um, and I haven't turned it off knowingly. So I should have had an alert, and some people received it late. So if you lived in an area that was like likely to be severely flooded, like 12 minutes is quite a long time. So yeah, it's a really strange one. But I think for me, it's a bit of scaremongering. I think with the situation in the world and the whole Russia Ukraine thing and the threat of nuclear weapons and whether anyone would ever use nuclear weapons after they've been previously used. Well, atomic weapons have been previously used. I don't know, but I just think it begs the question: why now? Like, the technology's probably been there to implement something like this. We get floods quite a lot in the UK. We are getting more erratic weather, so high winds and the tail ends of storms that come across the Atlantic. So I just feel like it's a strange time to bring this like emergency system into reality, and people are going to be scared. People will be wondering why this is actually being implemented because we've had floods in this country for a long time. The weather, like people can watch the news. Like you've got news apps on your phone, so if there's bad weather, like it's always shoved down your throat, isn't it? On the news about what's coming up, like bad things. There's never any good things on the news. Let's face it, or rarely. It's always like, oh, there's a big storm going to hit, or you know, there's a drought, so beware of forest fires. So I think it's a bit strange that they would come up with this and say it's for like extreme weathers and crisis situations. Um, yeah, I just think I just wanted to say I think it's a bit strange. And is it necessary? I don't know. Would it save us if it is for the reason that many people think for threat of nuclear weapons or war? Is it really going to do anything anyway? Because it's just going to literally set everyone into a panic it all at one time. At least if people have seen it on the news, like it'll be like kind of like it'll be like a staggered panic. I feel like just sending it to everyone's phone is just literally gonna absolutely scare the bejeebus out of everyone at the same time. Maybe that's what they're after. I've always kind of distrusted, had a, I can't get my words out today. Always had a kind of distrust of governments in general. But I just think that more recently, in most recent years, last 4 years, especially through the pandemic, they just have proved themselves to be kind of lower than I expected them to be. Yeah, and then they're bringing this out, and I'm very dubious. Am I scared of the threat of war? Always. Well, not always. In reality, it could break out at any time. It doesn't take much in the global economy, especially as it is at the moment. But I just think it's bad timing, and they've not really handled it very well. I feel. Um, yeah. So I'll just read what the alert's meant to say. I'm on Sky News app at the moment, so it says the alert that was meant to go out today says severe alert. This is a test of the emergency alerts, a new UK government service that will warn you if there's any life-threatening emergencies nearby. In a real emergency, follow the instructions the alert of if there is in the alert to keep yourself and others safe, and visit the website for more information. This is a test; you do not need to take any action. So, I'm kind of all up for. I kind of am all in for giving people information and up to date information, but I don't know. I think the way it's been, I don't know. I feel like the way it's been handled as far as the timing of it, maybe because maybe it's nothing to do with like the whole Russia Ukraine situation. Maybe they were always planning to bring something like this in, but the pandemic has slowed it down or stopped it because they were doing that instead. I don't know. I think there's always an agenda. I feel like there's always an agenda, and we shall never know. That's the thing. Oh, to be in power and to have that knowledge. Not that I would really want it, to be honest, because who can you share it with? No one. No bugger. So anyway, I just thought that was just a little thing that the UK have done at the moment, and I was just intrigued by the whole situation. It doesn't particularly worry me at all, to be honest. I think if something's going to happen, if let's face it, if someone launched a nuclear device towards the UK right now, sending a note of warning to me is only going to tell me what's going to happen. I'd probably prefer not to realise there's a bomb going to hit me. Um, yeah, very peculiar. Anyway, what do you think about it? Do you live in the UK? Did you get the alert? What's your thoughts? Let me know. Hit me up on social media. Send me a message, and let me know if you think it's a scaremongering tactic. I'd be interested to know. Take care of yourselves. Thanks for listening, and I'll speak to you soon.
You've been listening to Stephen Speak, Xtra Speak. Thanks for listening to my unscripted prattle on everything and nothing. Visit stephenspeak.com for updates, information, and my blog. You can follow more updates on social media at Stephen Speak PC. Thanks very much, and I'll speak to you soon.